Hare Krishna. Welcome all the devotees for today's session on Srimad Bhagavatam, the daily studies. So today we are continuing with this second canto, chapter 9. Today we are trying to understand shloka number 10, where we understand the spiritual sky beyond the modes of nature and the Lord's Tripād-Vibhūti. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततः जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. So very important shloka. प्रवर्तते यत् रजः तमः तयः सत्वं च मिश्रं न च कालविक्रमः न यत्र माया किम् उत अपरे हरेः अनुव्रता यत्र सूरः असुरः च अर्चिता. प्रवर्तते यत्र रजः तमः तयः सत्वं च मिश्रं न च कालविक्रमः न यत्र माया किम् उत अपरे हरेः अनुव्रता यत्र सूरः असुरः अर्चिता. प्रवर्तते यत्र रजः तमः तयः सत्वं च मिश्रं न च कालविक्रमः न यत्र माया किम उत परे हरेः अनुव्रता यत्र सुरसुर अर्चिता. Translation. In that personal abode of the Lord, the material modes of ignorance and passion do not prevail, nor is there any of their influence in goodness. There is no predominance of the influence of time. So, what to speak of the illusory external energy? It cannot enter that region. Without discrimination, both the demigods and the demons worship the Lord as devotees. Purport. The kingdom of God, or the atmosphere of Vaikuṇṭha nature, which is called the Tripād-Vibhūti, is 3 times bigger than the material universes and is described here, as also in the Bhagavad Gita in a nutshell. This universe, containing billions of stars and planets, is one of the billions of such universes clustered together within the compass of the Mahatattva. And all these millions and billions of universes combined together constitute only 1/4 of the magnitude of the whole creation of the Lord. There is a spiritual sky also. Beyond the sky are the spiritual planets and the names of Vaikuṇṭha, and all of them constitute 3/4 of the entire creation of the Lord. God's creations are always innumerable. Even the leaves of a tree cannot be counted by a man, nor can the hairs on his head. However, foolish men are puffed up with the idea of becoming God himself, though unable to create a hair of their own bodies. Man may discover so many wonderful vehicles of journey, but even if he reaches the moon by his much advertised spacecraft, he cannot remain there. The sane man, therefore, without being puffed up as if he were the god of the universe, abides by the instructions of the Vedic literature, the easiest way to acquire knowledge in transcendence. So let us know through the authority of Srimad Bhagavatam of the nature and constitution of the transcendental world beyond the material sky. In that sky, the material qualities, especially the modes of ignorance and passion, are completely absent. The modes of ignorance influences a living entity to the habit of lust and hankering, and this means that in the Vaikuṇṭha lokas, the living entities are free from these two things. As confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, in the Brahma-bhuta stage of life, one becomes free from hankering and lamentation. Therefore, the conclusion is that the inhabitants of the Vaikuṇṭha planets are all Brahma-bhuta living entities, as distinguished from the mundane creatures who are all compact in hankering and lamentation. When one is not in the modes of ignorance and passion, one is supposed to be situated in the mode of goodness in the material world. Goodness in the material world also at times becomes contaminated by touches of the modes of passion and ignorance. In the Vaikuṇṭha Loka, it is unalloyed goodness only. The whole situation there is one of freedom from the illusory manifestation of the external energy. All the illusory energy is also part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. Illusory energy is differentiated from the Lord. The illusory energy is not, however, false as claimed by the managed philosophers. The rope accepted as snake may be an illusion to a particular person, but the rope in fact, and the snake is also fact. The illusion of water on the hot desert may be illusion for the ignorant animal searching for water in the desert, but the desert and the water are actual facts. Therefore, the material creation of the Lord may be an illusion to the non-devotee, but to a devotee, even the material creation of the Lord is a fact as the manifestation of his external energy. But this energy of the Lord is not all. The Lord has his internal energy also, which has another creation known to be Vaikuṇṭha Lokas, where there is no ignorance, no passion, no illusion, no past, no present, no future, sorry, there is present. With a poor fund of knowledge, one may be unable to understand the existence of such things as the Vaikuṇṭha atmosphere, but that does not nullify its excellence. The spacecraft cannot reach this planet does not mean that there are no such planets, for they are described in the revealed scriptures. As quoted by Srila Jiva Goswami, we can know from the Narad Pancharatra that the transcendental world of Vaikuṇṭha atmosphere is enriched with transcendental qualities. These transcendental qualities, as revealed through the devotional service of the Lord, are distinct from the mundane qualities of ignorance, passion, and goodness. Such qualities are not attained by the non-devotees class of men. In the Padma Purāṇa Uttarakanda, it is stated that the beyond the one-fourth part of God's creation is a three-fourths manifestation. The marginal line between the material manifestation and the spiritual manifestation is the Virajā River, and beyond the Virajā, which is transcendental current flowing from the perspiration of the God of the Lord, there is the three-fourths manifestation of God's creation. This part is eternal, everlasting, without deterioration, and unlimited, and it contains the highest perfectional stage of living conditions. In the Sankhya Kaumudi, it is stated that unalloyed goodness or transcendence is just opposite to the material modes. All living entities there are eternally associated without any break, and the Lord is the chief and prime entity. In the Agama Puranas also, the transcendental abode is described as follows. The associated members there are free to go everywhere within the creation of the Lord, and there is no limit to such creation, particularly in the region of the three-fourths magnitude. Since the nature of that region is unlimited, there is no history of such association, nor is there end of it. The conclusion may be drawn that because of the complete absence of the mundane qualities of ignorance and passion, there is no question of creation nor of annihilation. In the material world, everything is created and everything is annihilated, and the duration of life between the creation and the annihilation is temporary. In the transcendental realm, there is no creation and no destruction, and thus the duration of life is eternal, unlimited. In other words, everything in the transcendental world is everlasting, full of knowledge and bliss without deterioration. Since there is no deterioration, there is no past, present, and future in the estimation of time. It is clearly stated in this verse that the influence of time is conspicuous by its absence. The whole material existence is manifested by actions and reactions of elements which make the influence of time prominent in the matter of past, present, and future. There are no such actions and reactions of cause and effects there. So the cycle of birth, growth, existence, transformations, deterioration, and annihilation, the six material changes are not existent there. It is the unalloyed manifestation of the energy of the Lord without illusion as experienced here in the material world. The whole Vaikuṇṭha existence proclaims that everyone there is a follower of the Lord. The Lord is the chief leader there without any competition for leadership. And the people in general are all followers of the Lord. It is confirmed in the Vedas, therefore, that the Lord is the chief leader and all other living entities are subordinate to him, for only the Lord satisfies all the needs of all other living entities. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitamena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Utapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamcham Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam परिजना सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देव श्री राधा कृष्ण पदान सगन ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च नमो ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. So we are continuing with this second chapter, Canto 9 chapter. So I've finished the two parts. In first part, the first three shlokas, which were talking about the cause of soul accepting the body. The second part, shloka number 4 to 8, which was a prelude to the Brahma Lord Samvada. And now we are into the third part, where we are talking about Brahma's vision of Vaikuṇṭha. So in this third part, again, there are three subparts. Shloka number 10, 9 and 10, which are related to glories of Vaikuṇṭha, which we'll be finishing today. Then 11 to 14, where description of residence and overall beauty is there. And then 15 to 17, where Lord's beauty and activities are described. So, we have seen till yesterday important aspects of this discussion, where pleased with the service, pleased with the penance of Lord Brahmaji, Krishna disclosed to him the Vaikuṇṭha, the spiritual world. So whatever he has seen there is something which is being talked about now. So as mentioned in the shloka, that spiritual world is the personal abode of Krishna. And there we do not see any ignorance or passion. In fact, even the influence of ignorance and passion on mode of goodness is not there. Kala is absent there, that is no influence of time. So if all these are not there, then definitely the external energy, Maya, which is illusory, it also cannot be there. Because finally it functions through these four. And without discrimination, both the demigods and the demons worship the Lord just like devotees. So look at the vastness of God's creation. Innumerable, inconceivable. Prabhupada gives so many examples in the purport. And all these millions and billions of universes together constitute only 1/4 of the Lord's total creation. The remaining 3/4, the Tripād-Vibhūti, is the spiritual real, the Vaikuṇṭha atmosphere, Vaikuṇṭha, without anxieties. So beyond the material sky lies the spiritual sky, which is filled with eternal Vaikuṇṭha planets. The Padma Purāṇa, it explains that this boundary, the dividing line between material and the spiritual realms, is the Virajā River, a transcendental current flowing from the perspiration of the Lord's body. And beyond the Virajā lies the eternal, unlimited, perfect realm, the 3/4 creation of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. That Vaikuṇṭha is completely different from what we have experienced, what we know of, or what we can even imagine. Because it is a transcendental place. There is no ignorance, no passion, no illusion. Even goodness, the mode of material goodness that we see, which generally here we find to be mixed with passion and ignorance, there it is unalloyed, pure, Shuddha Sattva. And since that place is eternal, there is no creation, no destruction, no cycle of birth and death. Again, it is eternal, so no influence of time. So no past, no present, no future. Everything is eternal, ever fresh, full of bliss. All entities out there, the living entities, they are eternally liberated. Everyone engaged in loving service to the Supreme Lord. In fact, As we saw in the purport, Prabhupada writing that in the Vaikuṇṭha planets, every living entity is a follower of the Lord. The Lord is the chief leader, and there is no competition for leadership. And in material world, everyone wants to become the leader. Be it nation, be it state, be it Lok Sabha, be it assembly, be it council, be it society, be it building, be it family, everyone wants to be a leader. But in Vaikuṇṭha, everyone wants to serve the real leader, Krishna. And it is so because illusory energy cannot enter there. Now, illusory energy, Maya, it's a part of Krishna. It is belonging to Krishna, but still, it does not have any place there. It cannot enter the Vaikuṇṭha realm. It acts separately under his will only in the material realm, and that also for reformation of the conditioned souls. But in the spiritual world, there is no illusion. Everyone knows that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so there is no work for Maya out there. So Maya cannot enter Vaikuṇṭha. Srila Prabhupada explains the example of illusion of material life with a very simple example, that at times in darkness when we see or feel a rope, we may find that, oh, it is snake. Now, this seeing the rope as a snake is only real for the ignorant. The rope exists, the snake exists. Perception is wrong. Similarly, this world is real, but our conception of enjoying it independently of Krishna is illusion. So what is important is that we reach the Brahma Bhuta state. The residents of Vaikuṇṭha are described as Brahma Bhuta. In the 54th shloka of 18th chapter, Krishna says, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na shochati na kankshati samah sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labate param. So, everyone is free from hankering and lamentation beyond the dualities of material life. That is Brahma Bhuta stage. The mode of ignorance produces lust, produces hankering. And as long as these exists, one cannot understand Krishna. So regular hearing of Bhagavatam and association with devotees purifies the heart from these lower modes. And without that purification, one cannot take a steady vow to serve or attain the devotional progress. We cannot think of joining the Bhagavatam classes, the spiritual programs, and the faith remains fragmentary. So it is important that we make ourselves accustomed to the transcendental qualities of the Lord and His abode. Narad Pancharatra, Sri Jiva Goswami ji quotes from it and explains that the Vaikuṇṭha atmosphere is enriched with transcendental qualities, distinct from the mundane qualities of ignorance and passion and coldness. And those qualities we saw in the first canto itself, 16th chapter, shloka number 26 to 30. Satyam Shaucham Dayak Shantim Tyaga Santosh Arjavam Shamah Damah Tapah Samyam Titikshahu Parati Shrutam Jnanam Virakti Aishwaryam Shauryam Teja Balam Smruti Swatantram Kaushalam Kanti Dhairyam Mardavam Evacha Pragalbhyam Prashalayah Sheelah Sah Ojha Balam Bhagah Gambhiryam Sairyamastikyam Kirtimanaha Ahankruti Ete cha अन्ये च भगवत नित्यायत्र महागुणाः प्रत्या महत्वमिच्छद्भिः न वियन्ति स्म कर्हिचित् तेन अहं गुणपात्रेण श्रीनिवासेन साम्प्रतं शोचामि रहितं लोकं पापमनाकलिम् इक्षति. So truthfulness, cleanliness, mercy, tolerance, simplicity, control of mind and senses, self-satisfaction, gentleness, magnanimity, and many more. They're all eternally present in Lord and His devotees. In Vaikuṇṭha, these qualities are not acquired, they are natural and spontaneous, born from pure love for Krishna. And most importantly, there is absence of time and material changes. The six material changes, birth, growth, existence, transformation, deterioration, annihilation, they do not exist in the transcendental realm. There are no actions or reactions of material elements. Time, which dominates material existence, is absent there. And instead of passage of time, there is eternal presence. Devotees, they do not feel time passing because their experiences of service, love, beauty of Krishna, they are ever increasing, ever fresh. So if today we feel Krishna is 100% beautiful, tomorrow we feel he is 110, 120, and it keeps on increasing. Even the love keeps on increasing. This Krishna is the source for both material as well as spiritual world. Krishna declares this in Bhagavad Gita 10.8 very clearly. Aham sarvasya prabha mattam sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha. So Krishna says this, that he is the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from him. The wise who know this perfectly engage in my devotional service. So both material and spiritual worlds emanate from him, yet he remains unaffected. And to know this truth is the sign of pure Krishna consciousness. Even the smallest service in his world, maybe sweeping the temple floor or serving devotees, connects one to that transcendental energy. So what is required from our end is that we should transcend the mode of nature. To reach the Vaikuṇṭha state, we must transcend all three modes, not one, all of them. As Krishna says in the 26th sloka of 14th chapter, Mam cha yo vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sa gunan samati iti etan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. So one who engages in pure, full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, transcends the modes of material nature and comes to the level of Brahma. And then in the 20th sloka of the 7th chapter, Krishna says, Esham tu antagatam papam jananam punyakarmanam te dvandva moha nirmukta bhajante mama druda vrataha. Persons who have acted piously and whose sinful reactions are completely eradicated engage in my service with determination. And then we also know that Krishna has said in the 20th shloka of again the 14th chapter, which is very important for us. Gunan etan gunan etan ititya trina dehi deha samudbhavan janma mrityu jara dukkhai vimuktaha amrutam ashnute. So, when the embodied soul transcends the modes of nature, he becomes free from birth, death, and old age and enjoys nectar even in this life. So, liberation begins here and now by engaging in unwavering devotional service. Even in this body, one can taste the nectar of spiritual happiness. So, if we start comparing the material and the spiritual world, I'm just showing it on the screen, it will become easier for us. That while in material world we have governance by ignorance, passion, and mixed goodness, in spiritual world it is pure and alloyed goodness only. Here we have creation and destruction, while there it is eternal, changeless existence. Here it is domination by time, there time has no influence. Here competition for power and control, there only harmony and service and love. Here hankering and lamentation, there only satisfaction and peace. Here while we are controlled by illusion, there we are freed from illusion. And so, but obviously it is that the soul can only be happy in the spiritual world. That is the goal of human life. The ultimate goal is to return to that eternal spiritual sky, where the Lord resides and all living beings joyfully serve him. That is our real home, our eternal nature, our true identity. And it is why Prabhupada would often say that don't be prisoners of Maya. Don't try to follow the blind crowd. Follow the acharyas. Follow Krishna. Regular hearing, chanting, rendering service to devotees is the process that gradually elevates us from this temporary illusory world so that ever blissful, ever fresh Vaikuṇṭha reality. So this 10th shloka therefore becomes very, very important from our perspective. It guides us toward the description of Vaikuṇṭha, revealing the perfection of existence, making us aware how we can be freed from ignorance, passion, and time. How Vaikuṇṭha is the world of truth, the place where there is knowledge, the place where there is bliss. Sat Chit Ananda. And if that is the place where we can also get that similar happiness, that similar bliss, it is but natural for us that we are hankering for is not in this material world. It is in that spiritual world. So we are looking for the right thing, but at the wrong place. We are looking at the right aspect, but at the wrong time. So the only way we can find that right place and the right time is when we follow the sadhana as given to us by Srila Prabhupada. He asks us to follow simply A, B, C, D, E, and be happy. Associate with devotees, read the scriptures, chant 16 rounds minimum, take only Krishna Prasadam as diet, engage in service to devotees, to Krishna, to Guru Maharaj. And by devotional service, we can transcend the material modes even in this life and begin to experience the spiritual nature of the Vaikuṇṭha now itself here. So we did not wait for crossing over the Virajā River. What Krishna wants is that we realize our true self, that we have self-realization. And then he will ensure that when the time comes to leave the body, we'll remember him. So that we get the place back home, back to Godhead. So let us therefore purify our hearts through sincere devotion, regular hearing of Bhagavatam, so that one day, like Brahmaji, we too may behold that limitless spiritual sky, the Lord's eternal abode, and maybe even Golok, where Krishna is there. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.